Hello everyone! Welcome to my channel and today magre-react tayo sa Scary True Stories Animated. Nakapili na ako at sa tingin ko nakakatakot naman. So, let's go! That was scary. Mr. Haunted. What you doing, Mr. Haunted? Drew McDonald's horror story. Ten 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 ten.
In 2016, I went to a McDonald's with my friend who we'll call Ashton for privacy reasons. On this night, we had just seen a movie with his girlfriend, and after the movie, we all got hungry, so we decided to hit up our local McDonald's to go grab a bite. It was nearing midnight, so there were barely any cars out at this time. We went to the McDonald's, ordered our food, and sat down at a table. Ashton and his girlfriend were sitting down facing me, and I was facing them.
Di, nakita niyo ba yun? Yung sa scene, lumabas si Squidward sa gilid like, whoop!
As we were eating, I see a middle-aged man sitting about 2 tables across from us with a little boy that looked to be about 7 or 8. The thing I remember most vividly about the boy was the extremely empty, pale look on his face. On top of that, he wasn't even eating. He kind of just sat there watching what I assumed to be his dad. At one point, the guy gets up and grabs the boy's hand, and eventually they come to us. The man starts to ask Ashton if he had any spare cash on him. While he was talking to Ashton, the boy looks at me and stares at me with eyes open wide as possible. I'll admit, it was a bit creepy, but what he said next made me want to puke. "That's not my dad. I've been kidnapped. Please help me." My blood turned to ice as I heard him say that. The man then looked at the boy and then at me, and with that they left out the McDonald's, as I knew that he caught on to my suspicion. Ashton and his girlfriend seemed to catch on as well, and I immediately dialed 911. I explained everything to the operator and gave her a description of the man and the boy. They came, but nothing ever became of it. A few weeks later, I was watching the news, and there was a missing child report that came on. When I saw who the missing child was, I nearly screamed. It was the same kid at the McDonald's. They unfortunately found his body by a canal not far from my house, and at that point, I knew that the man had something to do with this. Apparently, he had been missing for well over 6 months, and police have been searching for him ever since the day he'd gone missing. They aren't sure as to how he died, but the news said that he had died due to dehydration, which I found very false. Ever since that day, I feel so helpless and heartbroken for that boy. There are truly some messed up people in this world that do horrible things. I hope you could use my story to create awareness as to how these things happen all too often, and how you could take action to help make the world a better place.
Oh. Wow! Grabe! Natake ako dun ah. Nakakatakot. Nagulat ako sa sumigaw na yung babae na. Grabe! Wow naman. And, tanong ko lang, bakit kayo sama sa strangers? Like, mabilis lang kayo makuha! My gods. So, let's go. Uy, another McDonald's story na naman tayo. Hula ko, pagkatapos ko dito mag-vlog, kakain ako ng McDonald's. Siyempre hindi. It's quarantine, yeah?
I've been working at McDonald's now for over 5 years, and this is still my creepiest experience there.
Why?
This happened 2 years ago when I was 18, and I had been working my first overnight shift on front counter. I usually work in the kitchen on overnights, so I had no interactions with any of the customers until then.
Mm-hmm.
I was working from 10 p.m. until 6 a.m., which is a usual overnight shift for us. Around 3 a.m., I was making some fries when I noticed a man standing there and trying to take pictures with his cell phone of me and my other female coworker, Rebecca. I pointed it out to her, and she just rolled her eyes in annoyance and went to take an order in drive-thru, telling me it happened a lot. I was instantly uncomfortable. I wanted to tell the manager, but he was in the office doing his manager stuff, and I didn't want to bother him. I went over with what I felt was a nervous smile, and quickly did my usual greeting. "Hello, what can I get for you?" He just kind of looked at me and stayed quiet. He was about 5'8", white, early 20s, medium build with dark hair and brown eyes.
Mm-hmm.
An average man, I would say, but something about his piercing glare made me feel super uncomfortable. Then he smiled, a smile that sent shivers down my spine. "I'll just have a coffee. Black, sweetie,"
Sweetie.
he said, and I could instantly smell alcohol on his breath. I nodded and told him the price before he pulled out a $5 bill and went to hand it to me, making sure our hands touched. I avoided his gaze and went to hand back his change when he winked at me and went to go wait for his coffee. I went to go make it as fast as I could, but, just my luck, we were out of coffee on both the front counter and the drive-thru, as we don't sell much through the night. I turned around and kept as little eye contact as I possibly could. "I'm sorry, I'm gonna have to brew you a fresh pot. Should only take about 3 minutes." "Don't worry, I don't mind. I have quite the view while I wait," he replied, shooting me a wink. I just smiled awkwardly.
It has two... Tama ba? Dalawang beses na siya nag-wink eh. Wink? Wink? May naman yan. Wink? Para mag-wink. Kaya...
And looked away. I had to make sure I didn't fall behind on my shift, so I began to set up the muffins on the display so we had them all ready for breakfast, which starts at 4 a.m. in Canada. "So, Susan," I heard behind me, realizing it was the guy. I instantly tensed, wondering how he knew my name before I noticed I had my name tag on, and quietly cursed to myself. I turned around and looked at him, and he said, "What time are you stuck here until tonight, beautiful?"
Una, sweetie. Ngayon, beautiful. Oh my God.
I instantly panicked as I didn't do well in these situations.
Yeah.
7, I said nervously, which
Dapat, pag may nagtanong sa inyo niyan, wag mo niyo nang sagutin. Kasi hindi yun naman alam kung anong gagawin nila eh. You don't know. Depende na lang kung kaibigan mo. Diba? Kung trusted, siyempre.
then the guy gave me a huge grin. "Oh, so you still have time before you're off, eh?"
Eh?
I nodded and noticed the coffee was done pouring, so I went over and made his coffee as he watched me with an intense stare.
Intense stare.
I handed it to him before saying, "Have a nice night," earning me another wink.
Sabi ko na nga ba eh. I knew it. Sabi ko na nga ba magiging 3 yung wink niya eh.
He then waved and said as he turned around, "I'll see you later, Susan."
I'll see you
I
later,
watched as he
Susan.
walked out the door and tried to calm myself down. He doesn't actually know when I'm off, so I'm okay, I thought to myself. 6 a.m. rolled around, and it was finally time to go. I still felt a little paranoid about the guy, but I knew it was now in the past.
Yep.
My coworker Chris was going to drop me off at home as we carpooled, so we got our stuff together and left. As we were heading to his car, I noticed a parked car with someone in it, and of course, it was the guy. I panicked and quickly told Chris that was the guy, as I had told him what happened not long ago. He instantly brought me into his coat and did his best to keep me hidden as we walked quickly to his car. He made sure no one followed the car, dropped me off, and watched as I went inside, telling me to stay safe. I thanked him before going into my house and going to bed. The next day, I went into work and got asked by my manager how I got home. I told them Chris gave me a ride. My manager looked confused and said something that made my blood run cold. "Oh, that's strange, because some guy was here looking for you just before 7. He said he was here to pick you up." I thought before that the man's intentions weren't good. Just the way he looked at me and spoke to me, like I was prey. And this pretty much confirmed it. Since then, I have refused to work front counter overnight shift, and we no longer wear our name tags overnight.
Okay. Okay. Okay.
They ask you how you are, you just have to say that you're fine when you're not really fine, but you just can't get into it because they would never understand.
Grabe. Gano'n kayang kabaliw yung lalaking yun para puntahan pa yung manager ng babae? Like, siguro sinabi ng lalaki, excuse me po, gusto ko po sanang, ako po pala yung taga, ay, sorry. Ako
It
po
was
pala
at
yung
this moment
taga-sundo
that he
nung,
knew
Nina,
he
sino to?
fucked up.
Oh my God, nakakalimutan ko agad pangalan niya. Si Susan. Susan. Tama ba, Susan? Am I right? I think I am. I hate it. Imagine mo, ikaw yung andun na babae. Kung ako yun, siguro, hindi na ako mag-night shift. Or baka hindi ako magtrabaho dun eh. Pero, syempre, it's in life, whether we want to continue or not. Okay, so, that's it for today. I hope you liked my video. And you gotta hit that like button in the face and subscribe to my channel and turn on those post notifications below, and see you on my other video. Bye.